What's good, y'all? It's Taj Rockitt, aka Mr. Highly Motivated, baby. Here to get you motivated, baby. And we out here in Vacation Out Park in front of Mission Bay, here in sunny San Diego, California. And we here for Functional Fitness Fridays, episode number 29. And we gonna get your whole body in line with your mind, because today, what we talking about, we are hitting the oblique windshield wiper heel taps. That's right. The whole description's in the title. You know what I'm saying? The oblique, working the side abs, working like windshield wipers, tapping those heels, and we're going to enjoy how it feels. Now, I'm going to come on down, show you the ultimate option, and then I'm going to hit you with all the other variations that are fantastic for all fitness levels. So what you want to do, regardless of where you're at, you're just going to lay on down. You're going to drive that belly into the ground first. You want to flip those hips like you're bringing your waistline to your chin. Drive the belly into the floor to access that pelvic floor and get a whole bunch of abdominal activation. Going to go ahead and plant those feet. Keep your feet about hip width. You're going to go ahead and lay on back. You're then going to drive the belly down. Hands go out at a 45, and then from side to side, you're going to tap those heels left and right like windshield wipers. So this is the more median option. We're going to call it option number one, but really if you want to make more of a challenge, bring those feet all the way together and have your legs together touching. Now, as you go side to side, what you'll notice is when your feet are touching, this is creating more distance and more range of motion for you to create more length and more strength in those obliques. Now, as you're doing this exercise, make sure your eyes are straight up and you're just thinking about what you're reaching for. Now, one of the biggest mistakes I notice is folks are trying to look down at their toes. So as they're laying here, they're here, and they're here. What that's doing, that's creating a lot of unnecessary strain and stress in your cervical spine up in that neck region. So we always want to make sure our eyes are going the direction in which our torso is facing. So since we're going up, make sure your eyes are up. Now, once again, option number one, ideally, those feet are as close together, bare minimum, hip width or closer. So option number one, you want to make sure that your feet are either hip width or closer. Ideally, if you can really bring it all together, your thighs, your knees, and your legs, your feet, everything will be in contact. Once again, drive the belly down. If I put my hand below your lower back, we should not have any space there for me to fit my palm under. So flip the hips, drive the belly down, hands out at a 45 degree, legs are together with your knees touching. You're gonna drive the belly down, shoulder blades lift. So if I was to put my hand under your upper back, there would be space there as well. And then we're just tick-tocking. Tick-tocking like grandfather clocking and like windshield wipers are washing left and right. Now, if you're having a hard time keeping the upper back up, keeping the eyes to the sky, if you're having a hard time keeping that lower back pressed, and you're finding that that left and right movement is a little bit too strenuous and a little too difficult, it's all good, baby. We're going option number two. So option number two, you're still going to be in that same position, but you're going to heel toe your feet wider than your hips. So you'll start with those feet hip width, and you're going to heel toe as wide as you need. Now, instead of having your hands out at a 45, you're going to bring them closer to your sides. This is option number two. So the feet are going out and the hands are coming closer. Once again, we still want to drive that belly down, still want to bring that chest to the sky, bringing that upper back off of the ground, and the hands are closer and the feet are wider. We now have less range, but we are still in that upper body, hollow body feel, but that pretty much that static crunch the entire time, which is where a lot of the tension and difficulty lies. Now, with this one, once again, if you're finding strain in the front or even in the back of your neck, make sure you're focused on driving the belly down and bringing your chest up just by shifting the belly. So if we focus on the belly going down, and we'll naturally raise that chest up, make sure we're not storking our neck where we're trying to force the neck up instead of focusing more on the core drive. The less we focus on the core, the more upper body and other areas of your body will try to pick up where you are slacking in that midsection region. So once again, option number two, you're coming back down, you're gonna have your knees and feet hip width apart. Basically, every time we want to make sure that we always start, our median starting point is our hip bones. So having everything in front of the hip bones, we're going to go ahead and heel toe those feet a little wider and bringing those hands out. Instead of about a 45, we're going to bring it closer to those feet, just about a couple inches from that heel. Then you're going to drive the belly down, flip the hips, drive the belly down, pop the chest up, and just a little smaller. Now, when we bring the feet wider, we are minimizing the range, so maybe we're slowing the movement down. Once again, keeping that space below, right in between your shoulders, upper back, and the floor. Now, if option number 2 is still too difficult for you, it's all good. We got option number 3. Now, option number 3, you can go from option number 2 or 1, and you can go ahead and add it in there for either 1 and or 2, depending on how you feel and what's best for you. So, we're gonna go ahead and just go right back into that basic hip width with our foot positioning. Then we're going to go ahead and drive our belly down, flip the hips, drive the belly down, make sure there's no space here. Now, we're going to go ahead and start here. Hands go out at a 45, drive the chest up. You're going to tap, rotate, release. Drive up, tap, rotate, release. So you're starting in that center position. You're going to drive the belly down. You're going to crunch up, tap a heel, rotate back to the middle, and then release. So what this is allowing you to do is take a breather in between each repetition. So the biggest thing is focusing on that static crunch, rotate, tap, return, release. Now, this is a great option, even if you're strong enough to go wide on option number 1. If you're finding that your neck is hurting, or if you're finding that you're starting to reach with the shoulders, or if you're finding that you're starting to slack in other areas, this is a great way to slow the movement down and focus more on the pelvic floor activation, so you can also torque and turn on those obliques a little more efficiently. So once again, with this option number 3, making sure those feet are hip width, hands are at a 45, drive up, tap, rotate, release. Pop up, tap, rotate, release. Pop up, tap, rotate, release. Every single time you're thinking about what you're activating, those obliques, those side abs, those intercostal muscles, those abdominal muscles that are in between the ribs, your whole pelvic floor, your whole midsection should be on fire from the rotation. Once again, if you want to make it more difficult, feet are closer, hands are wider. You can literally bring your feet all the way together, make sure your feet are all the way together, bring your hands all the way out, drive up, and rotate all the way left and right. Now, I definitely don't recommend that a individual that is new to this move starts there. Once again, I think we should always start hip width, 45. That's a beautiful starting point, and then either work up and or back depending on what works best for you. Now, if this is an issue, option number 4, that's right, not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4, you're gonna come back down. This time, you're gonna bring your feet hip width, heel toe out a little wider, hands go to the side. We're gonna drive our chest up, and you're just gonna reach for the heels. Just reach for the heels. So it's more of a static crunch, keeping your body elevated, keeping the shoulder blades up. That's your starting position. Tap the heel, return without releasing. Now, option number 4, if you do need to release that whole upper back or upper body on the floor, please do so. Everything is about you. This is your workout. Whatever you need in your life is up to you. And if you need to take it a little easier, that's on you. We got to make sure that we are holding ourselves accountable and doing what's best for us, all right? So option number 4, instead of going lateral, instead of going with the oblique twist, you're still activating that main midsection and a little bit of obliques, but really, we're just working on that static crunch. Tap, release. Tap, release, with a full release if you need that option, all right? So I'm gonna go ahead and go back through your oblique, windshield wiper, heel taps, all 4 options, and you can figure out what you wanna do to make that abdominal exhaustion, you know what I'm saying? So option number 1, you're gonna come on down. You're gonna drive those feet into the ground. You're gonna make sure your feet are hip width or closer. Once again, the closer the feet and the legs are, the more difficult these are, but you're gonna start hip width. You're gonna then drive the belly down by flipping the hips and driving the belly button into the floor. You're gonna bring your hands out at a 45. With this position, you're gonna keep your eyes up. You're gonna drive the belly down, bring the shoulder blades up, and you're moving lateral 1 to 2 seconds each time you rotate. Once again, if your feet are all the way together, and if your legs are touching, hands out at a 45, this is gonna create more range of motion, more distance, aka more resistance. Option number 2, if you're having a hard time rotating side to side, all we gotta do is start back in that same hip width with the feet position, flip the hips, drive the belly down, hands out at a 45. You're then gonna go ahead and heel toe your feet out. Instead of going in, your feet are going out. You're then gonna keep your hands out, pop up, drive the belly down, bring the hands in a little closer, and rotate where your feet are wider and your hands are closer. So, in turn, what that's doing, it's making less range, so things feel less strange. You know what I'm saying? Option number 3, you're gonna come back down with me, but this time we're gonna take a little breather. Once again, option number 3 can work for option 1 and or 2 because we're working on the static crunch pelvic floor activation. So, you're bringing those feet down. Drive those feet into the ground, feet about hip width, wider or closer, whatever you prefer, but start in that middle mode. You're gonna bring those hands out at 45, drive the belly down, pop the chest up, tap, rotate, release. Pop up, tap, rotate, release. Eyes to the sky, and if you're like me, you're looking at them clouds, and you know you're feeling proud. So pop up, tap, rotate, release. Drive up, tap, rotate, release. So we're slowing the reps down, but we're still getting that activation right above the ground. And then option number 4, if the rotation ain't for you no more, all you gotta do is restart in that same position. Feet about hip width or wider. Gonna bring those hands tight to the body this time. Tight to the body this time. You're gonna drive the belly down, flip the hips, pop the chest up, and this time you're just gonna tap, return. Tap, return. Tap, return. Still keeping the upper back off the ground, still keeping the lower back flat. And just like that, that's how you burn that body fat, you know what I'm saying? So our goal with this exercise, it is a full core activator, but a dominant oblique activator. The biggest thing with this exercise, I say do this during any core set, Anytime you're like, man, I need to blow up my abs, maybe start in the morning. But I'm gonna say 3 sets of 20 total reps. So you'll be doing 60 total reps or 30 on each side. Now, if you really want a challenge, if you're like, man, I can't wait to fire up my core. I can't wait to really just bring that burn, that earn, and everything that I need to make sure my abs succeed. Then 1 to 2 seconds each rotation. Whether you're doing option 1 and you're going super wide, still 1 to 2. 1 to 2. Try not to crank them out left and right super fast like a windshield wiper. We're more on that slow, light rain windshield wiper. And every time you do it, we're thinking 1, 2, 3. So you're doing 20 total reps. You're gonna take a breather of no less than 30 seconds, but no more than a minute, then you're right back in it. This is a great move to sprinkle into other abdominal exercises, whether you're coming down, you're doing plank jacks, whether you're doing Spider-Man planks, whether you're doing toe reaches, whatever you're doing, it's a great one to sprinkle in there. But 20 total reps, slow and in control. It should take you anywhere between 30 seconds to a minute, and then 30 seconds or a minute break, no more than a minute, no less than 30 seconds, then you're right back in it, all right? So one more time, I'm gonna hit you with the oblique windshield wiper heel taps, baby. Option number 1, we under the stunt. We're gonna drive those feet into the ground. Feet are about hip width or closer. You're gonna then bring the hands out at a 45. You're gonna drive the belly down by flipping the hips, creating that nice flat lower back. You're gonna pop the chest up, eyes are up, left and right. You wanna make this more difficult? Bring the body tight and bring the arms wider to create more distance and more resistance. Option number 2, if going left and right like that ain't for you, guess what? You just go right back to that same position. Heel toe, those feet a little wider. Then you're gonna bring the arms in slightly closer to minimize your distance. You're flipping that hip, you're driving that belly down, popping the chest up, and still going left and right. Once again, nice and easy. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Nice and slow. Option number 3, if you like that's how I wanna be, then we're gonna go ahead and come on down. Now we're gonna have a little baby pause in there. So, feet about hip width. You're gonna drive the belly down, hands out at a 45, eyes up, drive the belly down, chest up, tap, rotate, release. Pop up, tap, rotate, release. Pop up, tap, rotate, release. You know what I'm saying? After 20 of these, you're going to be like, whoa, at ease. You know what I'm saying? And then option number 4, if you like to rotate, it's not for me no more. Then you're going to come down, flip the hips, drop the belly down, eyes up, chest up, pop it up, arms tight to the body, tap the heel, return. Tap the heel, return with the option to fully release at any moment. Now, once again, the goal is 20 reps, 30 seconds to a minute, somewhere in there break, 20 reps, 30 seconds to a minute, and another 20 reps. And we can either sprinkle this in with any core activity, we can do this in the morning to activate that pelvic floor, those obliques, and a little bit of everything, or you could just do this right before you go to bed, so the next day you already ahead. You know what I'm saying, baby? So, one more time, this is Taj Rockitt, aka Mr. Highly Motivated, here to get you motivated at Vacation Island Park. That's right, baby, it's Functional Fitness Friday, episode number 29. Hope you can feel that your grind is aligned with your mind. See me, baby, we at the Bay. It don't matter where you at, you can get it in any way you like all day. See y'all next time with another move and another way to improve, baby. I see y'all around the way. Holla, you know what it is.